50,000 soldiers, and they lost half that number. This wasn't luck. This wasn't a miracle. This was the most calculated military destruction in ancient history. Darius III was not a weak man. He commanded the largest empire on earth. From Egypt to India, 3 million square kilometers under one throne. And his army? Historians estimate between 50,000 and 100,000 men at Gaugamela. He had already fought Alexander once, at Issus. He lost, but escaped. Now he is 2 years old. 2 years to prepare the perfect killing ground. Darius didn't just pick any battlefield. He chose this one deliberately. Gaugamela, a wide, flat plain in modern-day Iraq. He even had his engineers level the ground, flatten it, smooth it out. Why? Because on flat ground, numbers win. Always. Or so he believed. Alexander of Macedon was 25 years old. He had never lost a battle. Not one. But forget the mythology for a second. Forget the legend. What made Alexander dangerous wasn't courage. It was this. He could read a battlefield the way a surgeon reads a body. He knew exactly where to cut. Here's the problem Alexander faced walking into Gaugamela. 25,000 infantry, 7,000 cavalry, against a sea of Persian steel. Darius fielded 15 war elephants, 200 scythed chariots, wheels lined with spinning blades, and 40,000 cavalry. 40,000. His own generals urged retreat. Parmenion, his most trusted commander, said, "Attack at night." Alexander refused. Quote, "I will not steal my victory." Most commanders would dig in, hold the line, hope for the best. Alexander did the opposite. He designed a battle formation that had never been attempted at this scale. The oblique advance, the hammer and anvil, and a trap within a trap. Here's how it worked, and why it was borderline insane. Alexander positioned his elite companion cavalry on the right flank, himself leading them. But instead of charging straight ahead, he marched diagonally,
here at dawn.
Rightward, slow and steady.
The northern wall
This did
is
something
too
Darius
strong.
did not expect.
It's
It
a
stretched the
risk,
Persian line.
but it's our only
Darius had
option.
to extend his forces left to match the drift,
now!
spreading them thinner.
Forward, men,
And the further
for
Alexander
victory!
drifted, the more Darius panicked. He ordered his cavalry to wheel out and block the move. That was the mistake. That single order created a gap in the center of the Persian line, right where Alexander wanted it. But here's what most documentaries skip. While Alexander drifted right, the left flank was being destroyed. Parmenian's men were getting crushed by Persian cavalry, overwhelmed, buckling. Parmenion sent an urgent message. "We need help, now." Alexander received it, read it, and kept riding toward the gap. He knew something Parmenion didn't. The battle was already decided, just not where Parmenion was looking. The gap was open, maybe 50 meters wide, maybe less. Alexander turned his companion cavalry, 2,000 of the most trained horsemen alive, and he charged, not toward the army, toward Darius himself. This was the core of Alexander's genius. Decapitate the command, break the king, because ancient armies didn't fight without their king watching. They needed to see him. And when Darius saw Alexander coming, saw the wedge of cavalry tearing through his center, he ran. The moment a Persian soldier saw his king's chariot turn and run, it was over. Not because they were cowards, but because in ancient warfare, a fleeing king meant one thing. The gods had abandoned you. The Persian line didn't retreat. It disintegrated. Cavalry, infantry, elephants, they scattered in every direction. Parmenian's battered left flank, somehow still standing, now held a collapsing enemy. In under 3 hours, the largest empire on earth had its spine broken. Ancient sources vary, as they always do. But here is what historians broadly accept. The Macedonian Greek forces suffered roughly 1,000 to 1,200 casualties. Persian losses? Estimates range from 40,000 to 90,000 killed or captured. In modern military terms, this was a near-perfect battle of annihilation. Military historians still study it today. At West Point, at Sandhurst, at the Russian War College. Not as ancient history, as a live lesson in operational art. 3 things made this victory possible. 3 things every military commander since has tried to copy. 1. Alexander controlled the tempo. He chose when and where the decisive moment happened. 2. He weaponized the enemy's size against them. The bigger the army, the harder it is to plug a gap. 3. He went for the brain, not the body. Destroying Darius psychologically ended the battle before the numbers could matter. Darius fled to Ecbatana, then Bactria, then further east. He was never the same man after Gaugamela. His own satraps and his governors lost faith. One of them, Bessus, eventually had Darius assassinated, stabbed and left on a road. When Alexander found his body, records suggest he covered Darius with his own cloak. Not as a conqueror, as a king who recognized another king. The Persian Empire, 220 years old, was finished, and Alexander was 25. But here's what most documentaries won't tell you. Gaugamela nearly didn't happen the way it did. The night before the battle, Alexander's senior general, Parmenion, proposed a night attack, surprised the Persians in darkness, neutralized the numerical advantage. It was a reasonable plan, tactically sound. Alexander rejected it, not out of arrogance, but because he understood something deeper. A night victory would always be questioned. Was it luck? Was it confusion? He needed a daylight destruction, witnessed undeniable total, to break not just Darius, but every future enemy's will to fight. This battle wasn't just about winning. It was about never having to fight like this again. Gaugamela changed the ancient world permanently. Greek culture flooded into Persia, Egypt, India. The Hellenistic age began. Language, philosophy, architecture, all of it reshaped by one afternoon on a flat plain in Iraq. 25,000 soldiers, 50,000 enemies, 3 hours, and a 25-year-old who refused to fight any other way than in the open light of day. If you want more battles that change the course of history, subscribe. Every week we break down the moments that built and broke the ancient world.